Hello, how are you? It is October 2nd, 2024. Okay, well, at the start, I want to thank those who donated to my PayPal, Catherine M., Integral Anatomy Productions, Elizabeth C., no, Elizabeth P., sorry, Pamela C., Terry P., Jean F., Kimberly M., Grant C. I want to thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've been pretty depleted. So your donations allowed me to donate, as I have throughout the years. I do whatever I get, I try to help others, especially my subscribers. So I thank you. They thank you via me. So it is much appreciated, and it goes to good use. I'm not out dancing on a Saturday night. I'm not out drinking or going to restaurants. So I just also want you to know I don't take any donations for granted. They are so appreciated. And yeah, thank you. So, Alicia DeMoss, James B., Geofactor 3, Miss Blanche, Rage Against the Machine. Thank you for telling me about Mike Decker's video. It's open. It will start the live once I'm done with Radar. Andrew Cruz, hello. You're very welcome, Tony. Jane Northrup, Vincent Veritas, Barb in Ohio, End Times Art, Joni, Patricia White, The Hypocrites Matrix, hi. Silent Walk, Oracle 11, Mangelos, Silent Walk, Sandra, Wire Palladium, Louisiana Skywatch, Hillbilly Grandma, and the Turtle Tribal Nation. Etena, hello. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that correctly, which I apologize. Catherine Owens, hi. Thank you, Catherine. So, how is everybody feeling? How is everybody feeling? I'm not hearing from very many people who feel okay anymore. And I have to tell you, I'm going to play a video, some of the video of someone who is in our chat who talks about exhaustion and memory problems. And I am really feeling like, what, you're very stressed. Yeah. Well, for good reason. But the stress could also come from electromagnetic frequencies. But I have to tell you, since I've been in Idaho, and I'm not blaming Idaho at all, something definitely has gone wrong in terms of how I've been feeling. And again, there's no way that I can point to any one source because of the circumstances that I've been living. But it is very concerning because I feel like my brain is just not operating. It's taken a real decline. And I feel that it takes an awful lot of effort to organize. What I've been doing for years, virtually nonstop, and now it's getting more and more difficult, and I'm not understanding why. So, concerning, but it also pisses me off because I'd like to keep my brain intact, right? I am heartbroken as well. Hillbilly grandma, victims of weather warfare, and we have had so many, and now it's like we're just adding increase numbers of the victims. And with the economy that we have, yeah, you can almost guarantee that an awful lot will not be able to recover. So, radar. Okay. This has been going for about 48 hours. Oh, I didn't put it on. Sorry. Picture in picture. Okay. I think this brings up the page bigger. This has been going on for 48 hours here in Colorado. Like did the switch break? They can't turn it off. These extremely low frequencies, and as you can see, they're different frequencies because the colors represent the individual frequency. And this has, oh boy, the extremely low frequencies have an awful lot of biological adverse effects. They could be used for good, but no. And I'm going to play some of Mike Decker's call to Pueblo, Colorado, the weather station there. You can listen to that conversation, and kudos to Mike Decker. Anyone who calls these places and talks about the geoengineering, and no, are you going to get the kind of response that an honest person would speak? No, of course not. But these people need to be put on notice that there's not an awful lot of people who know what is going on. Look at Southern California. Okay, so you've got your supercell activation in Florida, as you usually do, and there are no severe weather alerts. I guess they're just too busy with all of the destruction they brought about. They've left people alone for a little while. Which is good, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's go to Mike Decker, first in line.
Pueblo, Colorado's next rad been doing the spinning wheel of death for many hours in a row. I decided to call the Pueblo, Colorado boys. They're at that next rad station.
This has been going on for many, many hours. There's no reason for that at all whatsoever, besides weather manipulation and frying people and animals and everything else. Pisses me off. I've been trying to get a hold of these sons of bitches down here, so I'm going to try again. Yes, sir. Are you located in Pueblo?
Yes, we are.
Hey, do you guys have a NextRad there?
Yes, we do. Well, not at our office, but we do have one.
Right. I was wondering why it's been blasting out in a wheel style frequencies.
Yeah, we've been talking with our techs about that, and they're going to go out tomorrow and clean some parts and stuff and see if that takes care of the problem. But they're aware of it, and they're going to be working on it.
Well, the problem is we know these are being used for weather modification and such, and geoengineering. Are you guys aware of that?
Not that we're aware of here, so yeah.
So who actually runs those NextRads?
It's the weather service does.
Is that AI operated or manual?
It's manually.
It's manually. So why does the NextRad blast at night and stuff? Why is
I
it?
don't know what you're talking about there.
You can look any night, especially like early morning hours, 3 in the morning. All the NextRads are juiced up, even though there's no weather or cloud.
Basically it's ducting with the atmosphere, the way the atmosphere works, with the moisture and everything that's in the lower levels. It's the way the beams retract, and that's what it does. It picks up more activity in the morning, at night, in the morning with the bugs and everything, because it's trapped in the lower levels of the atmosphere.
So you're trying to tell me that it's picking up bugs?
Oh yeah.
Now, and you've never heard of geoengineering or climate engineering or solar geoengineering?
No.
No? You work for the Weather Service. Shouldn't you know something about that?
That's not what we do.
Oh, well, what I see is extremely low frequencies that are harming people. Are you aware of the effects of extremely low frequencies on animals and people and trees and all life?
We go through radar school, so.
And so you guys are going to wait till tomorrow to stop this thing that's juicing clear up into Wyoming where I'm at?
Do you have any weather-related questions?
This is weather related. I'm talking about your NextRad that is putting out extremely low frequencies right now, and it's been doing it for many hours, and that is not good for anybody or anything.
I'll tell you what, I'll have you talk with our manager and go from there. How's that sound?
That's fine.
All right. Extended forecast with Friday. Hi, this is Charlie, the meteorologist in charge for the National Weather Service in Pueblo. How can I help you?
All right, Charlie. My name's Mike Decker. I'm up here in Wyoming. How are you today?
I'm doing great. What can I do for you, sir?
I got some questions about your NextRad that's putting out a lot of extremely low frequencies right now in a wheel type pattern.
Okay, yeah. We actually did have some interesting signatures, especially this morning. We could see US Route 50 on our radar, and we also think we had possibly some clutter as well that we've been having our techs investigate. Is that what you're speaking of? That was northwest of our radar?
Yeah. And
We do have some technicians that are aware of the issue, and we are going to be working to get that removed because it's not precipitation, right?
well, I know it's not precipitation. I know these are used for geoengineering, weather modification, climate engineering to move storms and such.
No, that is not correct.
That is correct. I'm very well educated in what these are used for. And can I ask you, did you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement to get your job?
I'm not sure exactly what the relevance is of that question, sir.
It's a yes or no. It's simple.
I'm sorry, what agency are you with and who do you represent?
I represent the people. I am an anti-geoengineering activist who's been watching the skies get trashed for many years, watched you use these radars.
Okay, well, the mission of the National Weather Service is we monitor the weather and we issue forecasts for southeastern Colorado. We have 21 counties in southeastern Colorado. We do a 7-day forecast and we issue watches and warnings for the
So,
I'm not sure, like, I'm not sure what you're speaking about, like, what that would have to do with our mission. That doesn't have to do with our mission.
yeah, it does, because these are being used to control the weather, and they have been for a long time. What do you think they're there for? It's not just to look for magical rain. And then your guy's trying to tell me it's bugs. I'm sorry. Don't BS me. I'm just asking. Did you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement before you took your job?
No.
You didn't? Okay, so you can answer questions then.
Okay. Again, sir, we're here to provide watches, warnings, advisories, and 7-day forecasts.
Right, I get that.
And help keep the public safe. Like, we're here
You're-
because we want to keep people just like you safe.
Well, what you're doing with these extremely low frequencies that are blasting clear up into Wyoming, Nebraska, a little bit in South Dakota, clear down New Mexico. I'm watching it right now live. I'm watching it. This is all being recorded.
Okay.
So have you ever heard of geoengineering?
That is not something that we work on here at the National Weather Service.
I didn't ask if you work on it there. I just asked have you ever heard of it.
Okay. Basically, our public line is to provide information about what the forecast is, what kind of weather hazards could be coming up in the next 7 days. Like, we're here to provide you with that kind of information.
So
However, I can direct you to our public affairs
no,
contact at the National Weather Service headquarters, and they can assist you with that.
no, I don't need to talk to them. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I don't need to talk to anybody else. I've been getting a runaround. I just want to talk to you. I'm asking simple questions. Have you ever heard of geoengineering? Do you see geoengineering going on over Colorado?
That's not part of our mission here.
Well, it should be, considering it's all about the weather, right? Are you aware of the aluminum, barium, strontium, graphene, and hundreds of other things that are being sprayed in our skies that these radars use to move storms and such around, to dry people out, to flood people out, to cause a lot of damage and kill a lot of people and things, kind of like out in the southeast right now? You don't.
Okay, that's not part of our mission here at the National Weather Service.
Yeah.
That's not what we do here.
Are you a government agency?
We're a federal agency.
Okay.
That's correct.
Well, then you work for me, don't you? You work for the people. So have you ever looked up in the skies and seen them spray in Colorado? Because I got a lot of friends, and there's a lot of people in Colorado that see going down there all the time.
Okay, but did you need some very specific information about the forecast for your location?
Yeah,
Is there anything I can help you with there?
My main point of this call is, why has this thing blasted out frequencies and continues right now? Those are extremely dangerous to us, to all life. Why has nobody shut it down if you're going to work on it? Why wait till tomorrow? Why not do it now? Because you're not controlling it, are you?
Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Who's running your next rad right there? I'm watching it right now, live. I'm watching it. Who's running it? Who runs it? Okay, why don't you shut it off and turn that off? Stop blasting everybody clear around. What is that, 300 something mile radius?
Because we use it to monitor the weather.
You're not monitoring right now. You're blasting the atmosphere with extremely low frequencies.
Okay.
You're not watching the weather. There's hardly anything over you right now.
Okay, well, be sure to make sure that your concerns are brought up to our technicians that will return tomorrow, and to make sure that this is addressed,
No.
and what your concerns are, and that we can address that accordingly.
My concerns is this is some criminal things going on here, and this is a weapon. This is not just about looking at weather. And I know you know that. And I know you know what's going on up above. So are you denying that our atmosphere is being sprayed with heavy metals and aerosols?
Like I mentioned, sir, that is not part of our mission here at the
So you
National
don't-
Weather Service.
So you don't know nothing about it?
I do have a contact at our public affairs office, which can
Don't you love people? All of our problems, everything that we are facing, all of the evil, it's under the umbrella of the lie. The lie. And boy, are we the people of the lie. Yeah. Kudos to Mike Decker. Link is in the chat. Listen to the remaining minutes by clicking on the link. And there you go. Yeah, that's not our mission. I mean, can you... It boggles the mind how anybody working for the National Weather Service doesn't know about geoengineering. Okay, the chemical plume southeast of Atlanta continues.
Hey guys, you clearly caught me looking over my shoulder. That's because when we first arrived here this morning, we looked at it and thought, you know what, this looks a lot better than it has been for the past 48 hours. It was kind of a light white puff of smoke, but just recently, if you zoom in on this Cody for me, I'm going to step out of the way so y'all can see it. That plume has a tinge of yellow in it. Something also noticeably different from 24 hours ago is there was a back wall to that facility. That back wall is now down. Now, that's something the fire chief said that we could expect to see going forward. But again, we're noticing a yellow tint to that plume. That's something that I will be asking officials about going forward as that shelter in place continues for you all tonight. Take a look at the plume outside the biolab facility on Tuesday, right before Rockdale County recommended an overnight shelter in place. 24 hours later, the shelter in place recommendation and the plume persist. Today, Georgia Emergency Management says air quality is still being monitored. Overnight, it reports monitoring around the facility detected some exceedances above the action level for chlorine. GEMA says the current weather shows winds will start to shift tonight after sunset, saying there is a, quote, high likelihood that people across metro Atlanta will wake up tomorrow and see haze and smell chlorine. GEMA's update came just before noon when it added, at the time, the chlorine levels in the air were at safe levels.
Everything's safe. Don't you worry about it. But I do want to just mention. So, bugs. It's bugs. Okay? I forgot. Went on to something else. Bring it on back. These are bugs that NextRed radar is picking up. And it seems that the bugs are pretty much in the eastern half of the country. There's no bugs in the west for some reason. When you hear that, you have to wonder about these people who say these things. And then, do they actually think that just everybody is remarkably stupid, that they're going to believe that? Maybe, maybe not. So, yeah, just a wee bit more on the Conyers chemical release that they still have all of these shelter in place and warnings going out to those in the area. And yeah, it looks quite poisonous.
Well, yeah, we're about 2 miles up from the plant for safety reasons, but I can tell you today we saw that lingering smoke and the smell of chlorine back in the area. And a group of Atlanta-based attorneys, well, they say they have been fielding hundreds of calls from people about these very conditions, and now they're taking legal action. This 40-page class action lawsuit filed Monday seeks damages for those affected by the chemical fire at BioLab in Conyers sparked by a sprinkler malfunction.
One time could be an accident. But what has continued to happen at BioLab is not an accident.
The lawsuit.
Okay, so they now have a class action lawsuit. This has happened, I think, 3 times at that biolab. And, well, I just want to say that if it's safe, why is she kept 2 miles away from the biolab if it's safe? And yes, the line fire. They're trying to regain containment on the line fire in Southern California.
Time, a flare-up of the line fire in the San Bernardino National Forest appears to be pushing away from Big Bear this morning.
But it is burning towards some communities near Highway 38, prompting new mandatory evacuation orders. Mario Ramirez is standing by with an update for us. Good morning, Mario.
Good morning. That's right. Fire officials say it's moving, spreading towards Angeles Oaks, where new mandatory evacuation orders have been issued by the Sheriff's Department. We're at the base of Highway 330 here in Highland. It remains closed to Live Oak as those fire crews are still protecting structures and working on containment lines up in the mountains. We'll show you the video now and take you to some aerial shots above the San Bernardino National Forest, where the line fire has reached nearly 44,000 acres. CAL FIRE says the primary fire challenge is near Angeles Oaks off Highway 38, where the flames are being pushed upslope from the Santa Ana River, and that's where evacuation warnings have now turned into mandatory orders, with sheriff's deputies urging residents to pack up and leave immediately. In addition to the mountain community of Seven Oaks, warnings are in place for the Boulder Bay area, Big Bear and Big Bear Lake, alerting residents to be prepared for those warnings to turn into orders at a moment's notice. Despite the orders, some residents are waiting it out, hoping the flames don't reach their homes.
95% of them are gone right now. Everybody had a sense of like, okay, the big fire happened, it's done. But last night it came over here. The night before it was all around here. The flames were up so high. You got to stand your ground.
I hope I don't wake up tomorrow morning to see that more homes were burned up. Now, yes, FEMA, wildfire response. Okay, I just want to show you, and I think FEMA did a little adjustment to their website. You go to federal agencies and you will see that they're all involved with Agenda 2030, the DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, but I saw somebody leave a tweet. They were talking about how they went to the FEMA website, and it was like the first thing they saw was equity. That's our mission, equity. Well, now, what is their priority? Disaster response and recovery. Hey, that's what that's your number one priority. It should have been that, not equity here. Climate resilience, equity. Is this why some people are just not getting any help whatsoever in North Carolina? And maybe FEMA is working in other areas? I don't know. But how about you just focus on your primary mission, which is emergencies, disaster response, instead of clouding it with this equity bullshit. Our smart city network is ready. Will leaders approve? Open strategic innovation for communities. Asheville, Buncombe County. Oh, really? And guess what? Asheville Smart City Network. Okay, we all knew it, right? The Asheville Smart City Network, Duke Energy. It is a public-private partnership, which is, well, Agenda 2030. So I will link below if anybody is interested, but you can pretty much guarantee that an awful lot of these areas that are getting absolutely destroyed, they have something in mind for those areas. And also, City of Asheville announces new project to enhance neighborhood resilience connectivity, July 2nd, 2024. Bolstering neighborhood connectivity and climate resilience. The City of Asheville will be enhancing 5 community spaces across the city using technology to support vulnerable communities, prioritize neighborhoods identified by the city's climate justice map as highly vulnerable to climate change and other socioeconomic impacts, ensuring that those most in need receive vital support. That's right. And Kamala Harris is, yay, give it to the people who are non-white and of low income, but really it's just non-white. Everybody is coming together. If you watch the news broadcast, and you watch a lot of them, you go on Twitter, you see they don't care about the color of anybody's skin. They just want help in all areas where these people are still stuck, haven't been rescued, don't have water, don't have food, don't have gas. And I'll post the link to this. Yes, our country is being reshaped. And they have to destroy it to bring it up the way they want to. Here's planning and urban design. And virtually every city, county, they all have their planning designs. Comprehensive plan. Living Asheville, a comprehensive plan for our future. And a whole lot of this is climate change related. City Council's 2036 vision, which are complementary frameworks that support Asheville's long-term development. Planning for climate resilience. Priority strategies. Did I put the link in? I remember years and years ago, many of us sharing the information about the comprehensive plans for every city, every county in our country, all related to climate change and all of the very big changes that are necessary. They're necessary because it's all climate change. You sure do have a lot to say, buddy. You have to wait 1 second. So, grid apocalypse hits Carolinas, 360 substations down, and power restoration could take months. You are impossible. You know that? Babe, I have to give him his treats. Do you mind? I hope none of you said yes, I mind. Okay. Because I know you're just going to sit there and you're going to keep meowing. There you go. $360 substations down. Power could take months to be restored. What we are seeing is the grid, the power stations, the substations going down in specific regions, and the amount of time to get it back up and running is longer and longer and longer. So, $360 power substations are out, indicating that the substations were completely flooded. Duke Energy is unable to assess the damage until the flooding has lowered. The water has been pumped out. The equipment is thoroughly dried. But there's a transformer shortage. Raw material sourcing problems, pandemic-related supply chain woes and backlogs, labor constraints, shipping issues, and geopolitical tensions. Okay, well. And here, a quote, "This is devastating. We do not have 360 substations worth of transformers and other electrical equipment sitting in stockpiles waiting to be deployed. It could take a very long time to restore power to everyone. And wow, we have that port strike going on. That helps to delay time. But, Biden-Harris administration supplied transformers to Ukraine. It's unclear if these transformers were drained from U.S. stockpiles. Well, that's a drag. This was May 20, 2024. Last week, we provided U.S. aid, 50 voltage transformers, 9 current transformers, 80 isolators to Kharkiv's energy distribution system operator to help energy workers undertake urgent repairs in Ukraine, their electrical grid damaged by Russia's missile and drone attacks. It seems like what the U.S. would do, right? With ongoing supply chain challenges facing switchgear and transformers, this could take many months. There's no excess capacity to quickly replace substation infrastructure. And yeah, did you know that the Biden-Harris's FCC disapproved of 20,000 Starlink terminals for North Carolina? But now Elon Musk is putting up the Starlink, and the Biden-Harris administration now approves. It could have saved lives. That's true. Okay, well, we're in big, big trouble. And look at these power outages. So when they say it could take months, don't think that this is isolated to these states, okay? We've seen it in Texas. We've seen it in a lot of places. And we're heading towards the winter. So be very prepared if you can be. Georgia still has 322,627 without power. Florida, 33,716. South Carolina, still 435,870 without power. North Carolina, 318,018. Virginia, 30,198. And if you didn't know this, on the power outage, you click on the state and they will tell you exactly per county how many people are out. Buncombe, 158, 722. So the focus, and I've said this throughout the years, whenever we have a major event, a flooding event, fires, they usually focus on one city to the detriment of an awful lot who also suffered greatly but get ignored. So the focus has been on Asheville, but as you can see, there are so many counties affected, and there's a lot of towns in these counties. Okay, so now Maui, now it's for the, not just Maui, but all over, the victims of Hurricane Helene.
Included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met, such as food, baby formula, and the like. And you can apply now for anyone who's watching this who has been affected. There are FEMA personnel included. FEMA
$750. Maui, Lahaina, that was a big 700. Oh, right. 8.3 billion. Ukraine. And another, I don't know how many billions, to Israel. But Americans, wake up to the fact that these people have utter contempt for you. It doesn't matter if you're left, right, red, blue, black, white, doesn't matter. You know, Christian, Jew, doesn't matter. Utter contempt. $750. Okie dokie. So, I can't even remember what this is, so let's watch it together.
Hey, did you know that Asheville, North Carolina, they have this affordable housing plan, right? And it was actually updated on September the 13th of 2024, right before the hurricane. Crazy. So your favorite witch, we got to nose in, and I clicked on that button right there that's on this website. You could go visit yourselves. And it popped up this beautiful plan. Ta-da! Here's the table of contents, and I just got a little curious on a couple of things. And then I found this lovely page right here, and it talks about displacement of all forms. This includes property demolished. You have other things like with your property being seized, and then there's other things such as like a natural disaster or climate related issues. Okay, so I wanted to look at some strategies that they are talking about in order to develop land, right? So they have this thing called land banking. Well, it's not technically legal in North Carolina, so they said that they have to get creative to find ways to acquire property. I don't know, like maybe a hurricane. So by controlling the land, a public entity can potentially impose a deed restrictions that aligns with the affordability and community development goals.
Yeah. 2011, the massive flooding that took place, prime farmland, Missouri in particular, you know, to save that little town in Illinois. What was it called? Cairo. Yeah. An impoverished little town. So U.S. Army of Engineers blew the levees to save that town, which I posted videos on how it was pretty much, a whole lot of it was abandoned. Okay. Blew the levees, and literally million acres of farmland, prime farmland. I remember posting on that. And then who stepped in? George Soros, to buy all of the land, pennies on a dollar, because the farmers knew that they would not be able to use their farms for years because of all of the silt on the surface of their prime farmland. Generations. It was so heartbreaking looking at all of these farmers, their houses flooded out. This is what we do. We're still doing it. 2024. All right. So how about that mining company that wants to mine for lithium and got a lot of blowback from the locals? Well, we're just going to destroy their property, and they'll have no choice because they're not going to have homes. There's nothing to sell but that little bit of land that they have. No one's going to be buying it. So we'll rush in, buy it, pennies on a dollar. I'm telling you, you need a very big army of good soldiers to fight evil. So here, and this I think goes into the lithium, so I will link below. But anybody denying the weather modification and the geoengineering is, these are people who want to continue to deny it. They don't want to know the truth. Maybe they're scared little kitties who are afraid, to recognize, to actually face reality squarely, to see the evil. Maybe they just can't handle it. But as they can't handle it, they screw all of us over.
Weather manipulation, weather modification is not a conspiracy theory. They have told us time and time again, and by they, I am talking about the powers that be, but scientists, researchers, and so forth have told us time and time again they can manipulate the weather. They can create very powerful storms, monsters. The government has been manipulating the weather ever since the 1930s, if not before then, under such projects like Operation Storm Fury and Operation Cirrus. So it's definitely no secret. And I'm sorry if I sound a little hoarse or chalky. It is because I'm actually getting sick and my throat hurts very, very bad at the moment. But going back to weather manipulation, we actually have something rather interesting.
I do want you to take note. You take note. The hurricane is still in the Gulf, and this is the hurricane, okay? It's all the way past Pennsylvania into New York State. Really? Okay. Do you see how straight line defined it is? It has like a rectangle package north of the eye. This is not Mother Nature creating this. All right. I know.
Interesting when it comes to North Carolina Hurricane Helene and a particular agreement. Now, for those not aware, lithium batteries have been really making their rounds in the news lately. Here in the United States, where I'm from, certain items with lithium inside have been catching on fire. Then I believe there was a port that had cases of lithium, which also caught on fire. So, like I said, we have been really hearing a lot about lithium lately. You see, North Carolina has a lot of lithium deposits. Do you see where I'm going at here? There is a corporation that really wants these lithium deposits. That corporation is called Albemarle Corporation. Now, Albemarle is owned by both BlackRock and Vanguard. That shouldn't be very surprising because BlackRock and Vanguard have their hands in everything. But the reason why the Albemarle Corporation said they wanted these lithium deposits was to create lithium batteries for EVs, electronic vehicles. And you have to remember, electronic vehicles are very important to the powers that be, the World Economic Forum, the United Nations, and so forth, when it comes to the 2030 agenda. Matter of fact, last month in September, the World Economic Forum and the United Nations met to speed up the 2030 agenda. So these lithium deposits in North Carolina, again, are very, very important to the powers that be and their agenda.
For the meeting when we meet for the 20th Government Summit. You will use the app like Uber, but not anymore to call some driver, but automatically guided car, a self-driven car, will come to your hotel or wherever you are and will bring you to the airport. No, Los Angeles is one of the cities with the heaviest traffic, who told me in 2030, Los Angeles will be private car-driven free. This will allow to transform highways into parks and other public spheres.
2 years ago, back in 2022, the Albemarle Corporation wanted to restart mining for lithium at a site along Interstate 85 in Kings Mountain, North Carolina, that was shut down back in the 1980s. But you see, there's a problem. That problem happens to be, and reading this article back on March 29, 2022, residents worry about keeping homes if lithium mining restarts in Kings Mountain. That is right. The same exact place that the Albemarle Corporation wants to start mining, well, there's homes, stores, and businesses near these deposits. Some of them are actually on top of these lithium deposits. Take, for example, a technical center along Raven Circle, which is still on the 800-acre plot of land that the Albemarle Corporation wants to dig under. Then
Okay, I am going to post the link, and you can watch the remaining 5 minutes. A lot of very important information. We've seen this time and time again, right? Lahaina, 15-minute city, smart city. It just goes on and on. But don't think that every place that gets hit with these weather weapons, it's going to be a smart city. No, they're also using it to move people out from where they're living and consolidate them in cities so that they're easier to monitor. We're cattle, okay? That's all we are to them, cattle. Just move us along. And I'm going to play this. Okay. And I just hope that whatever you're seeing, what is taking place, like Lana and everything, and I've been a big please circulate. They need to be circulated because they could actually wake people up. A whole lot of Americans, so there was a hurricane, but they're just going about their business like nothing happened. These are the people that need to be shook, right? And yes, I do feel, whether asleep or awake or whatever skin color you are, whatever sex you are, wherever you are, whether you're on the left or the right, we are all family. Yeah. In the human race, right? We're a human family, and everybody should care, regardless. Well, I do. I don't know about anybody else, but it is heartbreaking to see yet again, because we've seen this over and over and over again, all these people who are not only being ignored, but also purposefully left alone to fend for themselves. And in this circumstance, a whole lot of people die.
So update right now, the biggest problem after Hurricane Helena is just you're not able to move. Some of my friends just try to go to Tennessee. The roads are completely blocked off. You're not getting out. We're trapped in. There's a lot of looters. Please stay safe. Stay inside. If you have a weapon, keep it on you, because there are people intentionally sabotaging stuff. So over on I-40, there was some truckers coming in with supplies and medical stuff trying to help us. They stuck at a truck stop to get some rest. When they woke up, their tires were slashed. Nothing was stolen, just tires were slashed. The same thing is happening all over the place. People are intentionally just vandalizing stuff, not stealing, just vandalizing. And then there's looting happening in all the stores. I'll come back with an update in about 5 or 6 hours. Everyone stay safe.
So, and yeah, this man is talking about if you can't do anything but circulate all of these messages, then that is at least doing something.
I'll tell you how you can help every single individual in Southern Appalachia, from California, from Washington, from our friends all the way up there, our buddies, our guys, our pals, our friends with the split talking heads, you know, on South Park. All y'all Canadians up there, I'll tell you how you can help. Every single video you come across on TikTok, repost it. Repost it. Every single video coming out of Southern Appalachia, repost it. Repost it. Repost it. That is one way from a distance you can greatly help out. If that's all you can do, other than donate, because I know you slave away up there for your government in Canada and for the rest of the United States. I know, heck, I know. But that's one way you can help out, is your Southern Appalachian content creators, as we are pushing stuff out, knowledge, information. We are documenting this because look, we can't trust mainstream media. That's a corporate agenda. But every single Appalachian video you come across, repost, repost, repost. That's a big way you're helping all the Southern Appalachian content creators and everyone. You're getting our experience, our perception, our very real realities. You are getting that out there to the world. You are a great help wherever you are, even if you're not up here. And by the way, a personal thank you to each and every one of you who are freaking ignoring all the celebrity, all the politics, all the everything, and just reposting, you know, backroads content creators doing that. I want to thank you on behalf of all of us up here. Like we wouldn't be going viral without you. And I'm gonna tell you what, it's in our personalities and it's in our characters to be there for the little guy, even if you're not a content creator. That's why I'm thanking you on behalf of all of us, because we wouldn't be getting out there to the world without you, each and every one of you. So I thank you on behalf of us all. Keep reposting everything. Every video you come across, repost every one of them. Thank you. I'll tell you how.
And that's how information gets circulated. Listen to this.
Short of just plain awful. Like, I do not physically have the word what the government is doing right now to the entire state of North Carolina and Tennessee is a nothing short of just plain awful. Like, I do not physically have the words for it, because if you don't know, we have not heard from my aunt since Friday because of Hurricane Helene, and there is no government aid. None. Zero. Zilch. There's a few, but it's small government offices mainly run by civilians. Because you want to know what's happening right now in North Carolina and Tennessee? There are entire towns that there is no way in or out. Those roads are not drivable because of the mudslides and the power lines and the downed trees. There are doctors right now physically walking across that because their cars can't get through to go help these people, to go check on these people. There's a mudslide by my aunt's house because she lives on a mountain. She lives in the middle of it. There are currently civilians digging that mudslide out with their bare fucking hands. That's what's happening right now. There is no power. There is no water. They have no supplies. And the government is currently trying to arrest people who are delivering supplies via helicopter. They are threatening to arrest those people. They are threatening to arrest people who are trying to fucking help people survive. My aunt is 70 years old with mobility issues. And you want to know what the government's fucking doing? Jack shit. But you want to know what the civilians, the people here in America, are doing? I have had several people on this platform alone reach out to me and go, oh, this person, this doctor's going there. I'll tell them and they'll tell the fire department. I'll put the word into all these shelters. I'll do this. There is somebody right now in Burnsville, North Carolina. His name is Warren. And he himself, he's a real fucking hero. I'll tell you that. He got together a list. He went door to door to people's houses to make sure that they were okay. Door to door. Wrote their names on a list and posted it on Facebook so families could see if their family members were alive or not. His wife is currently making food for everybody. And you want to know what the government is doing? You want to know what Kamala Harris is doing right now? You want to know what Joe Biden's doing? Joe Biden said we're doing all that we can for North Carolina. Kamala Harris is currently having a fundraiser for her campaign in LA and Las Vegas. Not for the people in North Carolina or Tennessee. For her fucking campaign. Fuck them.
They are justified. Their anger is justified. But hey, Kamala Harris is now going to give you $750. The feds are confiscating donations in Tennessee. And this is not the only source that I've heard this from, but Red Cross and FEMA and TEMA, Tennessee Emergency Management, has arrived, and all donations that have been given to a local high school volunteers have been confiscated. Starting with Davy Crockett High School, they are taking over all volunteer schools in Washington County and Greene County. In order for anyone to get donations that was given, they must be approved. All monetary donations have been taken as well and placed into a TEMA account. If you are unaware of how that works, those items, they don't get used for this particular disaster. And that is actually true. An awful lot of the monies are just put for future disasters. Volunteers have been asked to leave and was told in order to help, they must be trained by United Way. Please, I know I already made a post on Red Cross and FEMA the other day, but please, if you donate to a church, give it to individuals. Do not. How many? I can't tell you. After Superstorm Sandy demolished New Jersey and New York, and okay, I posted so many videos. Well, that's an exaggeration. I posted not just one, not two, but 3 or 4 on how corrupt the Red Cross is, showing evidence. Of course, the higher ups get fabulous salaries, but a whole lot, especially during Superstorm Sandy, when they would do their photo ops, the Red Cross, you would see them and you would think, if that was the only thing that you were watching, mainstream media, that, wow, Red Cross is on it, helping all of these people. And it was bullshit. It was all staged. I'm just going to put this out there, and maybe someone with a helicopter willing to help will see it. I own property at 357 Bailey Settlement Road, Green Mountain, North Carolina. You can land a helicopter on it. There's hundreds of people around there that need help, some with medical conditions. If you guys can get anything to that spot, you have my full permission to land on my property. Helicopters are needed. John Haynes is missing. There are so many missing people posting on Facebook the pictures. Twitter, John Haynes, missing from Burnsville, North Carolina. This post from his sister. So, 38 miles outside of Asheville. And I will link to this. Airlift rescues are crazy. It's like a needle in a haystack.
Flying high over the mountains of western North Carolina, this National Guard crew scoured the landscape, which...
Let me also say that a whole lot of individuals who are there are saying that mainstream media, if that's all you're watching, you actually think that the National Guard and there's a whole lot of rescues going on and a whole lot of help, and that's not the case. It is not the case. But here.
Seemed swallowed by the river, a scene repeated across the state where rescue operations continue 5 days after the storm. In the small town of Burnsville, we watched as the National Guard rescued this woman, the first of 7.
All right, the clear signal was given. The person is now being hoisted.
Then troops were sent on another mission, nearly 60 miles south in Hendersonville, where 3 survivors were clearly relieved and grateful to see the helicopter land.
How are you feeling right now?
Grateful to be alive, grateful that everyone is safe, and trusting that everyone will make it through this.
The North Carolina National Guard is also delivering food and water to people who have waited days for relief.
We're working together to open more major routes to push supplies forward while repairing roads, utilities, and communications.
In Irwin, Tennessee, the owners of Impact Plastics say 5 employees and a contractor are missing after trying to escape flash flooding. For some of those rescued today in North Carolina, this baseball field became a home base to regroup and begin to recover.
I figure I could do more for the community by being on the outside. So that's kind of where I'm at. It was stressful, but not the worst experience in life.
Tell me what concerns you most about the community. It seems like there's still people there.
They need more supplies. They desperately need fuel.
Okay. So, it looks like our government, the National Guard, they're working it. They're helping people. Why are so many from different areas, different towns, saying they're not here? And yeah, this is quite the story, actually.
It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining.
Linda and Carl McMurray sharing their story, with the major bruising on Carl's face the only outward sign of their trauma.
The power had blinked about 3 times, and my neighbor called and she said, do you think you're going to be okay?
83-year-old Linda was born in this house that sits along the Virginia Creeper Trail.
It started raining hard.
The nearby White Top Laurel Creek had never been a threat before. Then, as the winds picked up, trees and entire trestles from the Creeper Trail began crashing into the bridge, creating a dam.
It came so fast.
The creek diverted straight toward their home.
And it came up to the porch, and then it burst through the living room window.
Carl, in a move that most likely saved his life, grabbed life jackets, and the couple ran to the second floor.
At first, the whole house floated.
It went like a bulldozer down through there, pushing outbuildings out of the way and stuff. And we got down through to about, a couple of football field lengths, and it settled over on a little higher ground and stopped. And I thought, this is going to be good.
But the ordeal was just beginning. The house cracked apart. Carl fell out.
I remember digging up, and she was up top, and board hit me in the head. Next thing I was in the water, clawing around.
The water carrying Carl away. He smashed his head on a gator before finally grabbing onto a bush.
And I yelled for 30 minutes at one time, at least.
Hours passed and hypothermia was starting to set in when he finally was able to flag down their neighbor, Emily. She made her way to where she could get out a call, but at least another hour passed before help arrived.
The Black Hawk helicopter came, and she directed it down in there.
And I saw them. I didn't know it was him, but I saw the helicopter, and I thought they were looking for me.
Helicopters did look for Linda, but there was no sign. She would be stuck there for 16 hours.
Every time a log would hit the upper side, I thought it would take me on down. And all night I kept praying, repeating the Lord's Prayer and the 23rd Psalm.
A police officer showing up at their son Eric's home in Bristol.
He's like, you need to go to JMH Hospital now.
When Eric got to the hospital, his dad told him his mom didn't make it.
He looked at me and I looked at him and he said, I lost her. I couldn't hold on to her.
It was an emotional night, calling loved ones with the devastating news. Then the story changed. A friend had gotten word Linda was alive.
And a knock on the door at 2:30, and she walks in completely dry, a little bit of mud on her shoes, and they both hugged each other, broke down.
The couple now so very grateful for their rescuers and the love that surrounds them.
Wow. Okay. Virginia. Yeah. The devastation is not just in that one area that mainstream media focuses on. So I'm just going to try to go through some of this quickly. Bank of America customers report widespread outage today. Zero balances on an awful lot of accounts. I think Bank of America will be one of the big banks that actually goes down, and we will eventually face bank runs. So having problems accessing their bank accounts and their account balances, but we don't get to know why. Of course. We've seen this over and over and over again. You don't get to know why. You didn't get to know why Verizon had that amazing outage. And I spoke to the subscriber in Arizona. She too couldn't use her phone but she has a daughter that works for Raytheon, and Raytheon uses Verizon, but they didn't experience the outage. Not Raytheon, not that military industrial contractor. They were fine. But you don't get to know why anymore. We're peons. You know, can you imagine going to an ATM or to the bank and looking at your account and it's zero? 20,000 complaints were submitted to their website. Yeah, 000. And panic buying has begun. The port strike, well, the next day, people are stocking up. Already spreading as the dock worker strike gets underway. This is a Walmart. Well, they don't seem to have an awful lot of paper products like toilet paper, paper towels. Union dock workers began striking and panic buying started. Video clips posted by social media users on X and Facebook showed people rushing to buy water, toilet paper, paper towels, other items. Let's see. This is a local Kroger. Low on water due to Helene? Yeah. So you can't say that that's because of the port strike. Little town in South Carolina, Sam's at 8:30 a.m. had no water. Same at Walmart and grocery stores. Next will be toilet paper. This is interesting. Stunning and growing dependence on government aid in pictures. Yes, when you're destitute and there's no way out, government gives you just enough to kind of survive, maybe. And that's what's happening to an awful lot of people. So here, counties at least 25% dependent on government aid. The blue is Biden, the red is Trump. But look at all. Look at this. That's a lot of people who are dependent upon the government. The gray are areas where there's not much dependence. The red and blue. Wow. And when you're dependent on the government has you. You're a slave. Animal shelters all across our nation are completely and utterly filled to the brim. Why are people being priced out of pet ownership? Greed. Veterinarian bills are just astronomical. I'm posting the link to that video. It's a shame that we've become just so evil. 33,000 Boeing workers lose health care coverage. 33. That magic number. 33. All right, I'm just going to go through just a couple of days of how many people are losing jobs. And if you haven't noticed, there's an awful lot of videos and channels posting on how many people are posting on other social media platforms about the fact that they cannot find jobs. Verica Pharmaceuticals, about 20. ABC News, 75. Shattuck Labs, about 30. Baldwin Wallace, 64 positions. Stryker, 500 layoffs. 500 layoffs. Panera Bread is going to be making some layoffs. 120 in Oklahoma City. Mood Cannabis. 15,000 Samsung. Patagonia, 41. Goodyear Tire and Rubber, Akron, Ohio, 82. CVS Health, 2,900 nationwide. It's a lot. And cities are laying people off, and health care facilities are laying people off, and schools are laying people off. And I will link below to dailyjobcuts.com. I have suggested that you bookmark it and check it out, because they also, at the top, have quite a lot of economic news. 8 migrant workers accused of looting in flood-ravaged Tennessee. Yeah, where are all the celebrities? Where? What's going on? Remember Hurricane Harvey? Oh boy, people were posting. They were doing all of their celebrity concerts and raking in God knows how many millions upon millions upon millions that never went to help people suffering from Harvey. Where are they here for this? Nowhere to be found. Tennessee, Dolly Parton. Dolly, where are you? These are your people. Okay. But when you think about it, what everybody is going through, just going to play a few minutes of this. And yes, I know Israel. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. There's so much going on. And Israel today bombed Damascus again, Syria, killing civilians. We have to band together and help one another. We have to. It's vital, really vital. So there's an awful lot of people who are amazed at the job market, at the scamming that's going on about why am I applying for a job when I'm having to do an awful lot of work and on my resume, getting it, geared toward the position, to only find out from the companies that, well, we're really not hiring. We just post these positions. And one actually admitted that they post the positions to get the people who are working there to work harder, because if they're posting positions and it happens to be theirs, well, they're going to be firing me because they're hiring, but they're not hiring. A whole lot of ghost ads about jobs, and they're not there. So an awful lot of people are really hurting. And I'll post the link to this. And then when you think about all of the people who have suffered from those fabulous you know, shots. When you think about all of the people who are not well, we're gone. A mama of 7 from Western New York. I'll link below because I'm not going to read the whole thing. But twins. She got the call Monday from the school principal that her twins, seniors this year, straight A students, taking all the AP classes they could in the club, swim, volleyball team, captains, would be expelled if they didn't have the meningitis shot before Wednesday. Couldn't get them in for physicals until mid-October, but they could get the shot quick Tuesday morning. I didn't want to, but what choice did I have? Homeschooling for senior year didn't feel like the right choice. So against my gut, they went in Tuesday morning, tears flowing as I type, reliving this horrendous nightmare over and over again. Nurse comes in, no doc needed, just a shot. There's no handout describing the shot, the side effects, the reason it's needed, none of that information. My boys asked if their arms would hurt because they had a volleyball game that night. She said it could, but shouldn't be bad. They'll be fine. She pokes them, puts their Band-Aid on, goes to get their form for school, and 5 minutes later, we were walking out the door. No one suggested we stick around 10 to 15 minutes until the poison had made its cycle. One son is holding open the inside door, the other the outside door. I'm pushing my double stroller with 14-month-old twins, and suddenly my son's entire body goes stiff, his legs kick out straight to the side, and his face hits the concrete sidewalk. He's having a seizure. Okay. We have so many people who are dealing with so much. So we for sure need to unite. We need to stop judging people. And just be helpful. And of course, this continues. Dozens of military-age men from the Middle East, Eagle Pass, Texas. Eagle Pass? What happened? I thought that was secure. Governor Abbott, National Guard, Eagle Pass. Look at all of these men. There is no audio. One woman. So, yeah, it does continue. We have a lot of hungry mouths to feed.
¿Usted de qué país viene, señorita? ¿De Venezuela? ¿A qué estado se dirige? A Texas. ¿A Texas? ¿Y usted, señorita? ¿De Perú? Sí. ¿Y a qué estado se dirige? A Houston. ¿Y usted? Venezuela. ¿Venezuela? ¿De dónde? A Miami. A Miami. Venezuela. Miami también. ¿Venezuela, Miami? Colombia, Tampa. Colombia, Tampa. Colombia, Tampa. Colombia, Tampa. Perú, New Jersey. Perú, New Jersey. ¿Y usted, señorita? Cuba. Cuba. ¿Y a dónde va? A Miami. A Miami. ¿Y usted? Cuba. Cuba. ¿De dónde va? Florida. ¿Y usted, caballero? Florida. Florida. ¿Y usted? Florida. Florida. ¿Y usted? Miami. Miami. ¿Y usted? Miami. ¿Y usted? Naples. 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 ¿Y usted? Tampa. Tampa. ¿Y usted?
¿Para dónde tú vas? A Miami.
¿Vienen de Cuba?
Sí.
Ok. ¿Y usted?
Miami.
Miami. ¿También de Cuba?
Sí.
¿Y usted dónde viene?
Arizona, Venezuela.
¿Venezuela? ¿De dónde va? Arizona. ¿Y usted?
Cubana y voy para Louisville, Kentucky.
Kentucky, ¿y usted?
Venezolano para Miami.
Miami, ¿y usted?
Peruana para Nueva York.
Peruana, New York, ¿y usted?
Peruano para Nueva York.
Órale, New York, ¿y usted?
Peruano, Nueva York.
¿Y usted, señorita?
Peruana para Nueva York.
¿Y usted?
Peruano, Nueva York.
¿Y usted?
Peruano, Nueva York.
¿Y usted?
Venezuela, Chicago.
¿Y usted?
Venezuela, Chicago.
¿Y usted, señorita?
Cuba, Las Vegas.
¿Y usted?
Cuba.
¿A dónde va?
Tampa.
¿Y usted?
Cuba.
¿A dónde va?
Naples.
¿Y usted?
Cuba.
¿A dónde va?
Miami.
¿Y usted?
What? I'm sorry.
Where are you going?
Going? I don't know.
Where are you coming from?
I'm from Russia.
Oh, you're from Russia. Okay, cool. All right. You don't know where you're going yet?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
All
sir.
right, all right. You?
Russia.
Russia. You don't know where you're going?
USA.
They don't know either?
USA. We're in USA,
Oh,
bro.
okay.
Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit. Okay, you stay?
Houston.
Oh, you're going to Houston? ¿Y usted, señorita?
Perú,
¿Perú a dónde va?
Nueva York.
Nueva York, ¿y usted?
Perú, Nueva York.
Perú, Nueva York, ¿y usted?
¿Cómo te llamas? Florida.
Florida. Órale, ¿de dónde viene?
De Chile.
De Chile.
Sí.
Ok, ¿y usted?
Cubana.
Cubana, ¿dónde va?
Pero yo soy dominicana.
Órale, ¿a dónde dijo usted?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, Jacksonville, Florida. Ok, ¿y usted, señorita?
Venezuela.
¿Venezuela dónde?
Florida.
A la Florida. ¿Y usted, señorita?
Venezuela.
¿A Florida también? A Texas. ¿Y usted?
Perú.
¿Perú a dónde va?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. ¿Y usted?
Perú.
¿A dónde va?
New Jersey.
A New Jersey. ¿Y usted, caballero? ¿Dónde viene?
Cuba.
De Cuba. ¿A dónde va?
Miami.
A Miami. ¿Y usted, señorita?
Cuba.
Cuba también.
Cuba, Miami.
Miami. ¿Y usted?
Cuba. Cuba. ¿Para Miami?
¿A Miami también?
Cuba, Cape Coral.
Hey, Coral.
Lake Coral. ¿Y usted?
Pakistan.
Huh?
Uzbekistan.
From Pakistan?
Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan. Where are you going?
Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan. What state are you going to? You don't know where you're going?
Понимаю.
Okay. ¿Y usted dónde viene?
Colombia.
Colombia.
De Colombia. ¿Y a dónde va?
Para Los Ángeles.
A Los Ángeles, a California. ¿Y usted, caballero?
Cuba.
A Cuba. Vienen de Cuba. ¿A dónde van?
Miami.
A Miami, Florida. ¿Y usted?
Dominicana.
Dominicana. ¿Dónde van?
Dominicana.
Vamos para el Bronx.
Oh, en los Bronx. Ok, que está frío allá. ¿Y usted dónde viene?
República Dominicana.
¿También dominicana? ¿Va también para los Bronx?
A Nueva York.
New York. ¿Y usted? De Cuba. ¿A dónde va? New York. ¿Y usted dónde viene?
Perú.
De Perú. ¿A dónde va? ¿A dónde?
Nueva York.
A Nueva York. ¿Y usted, señorita? ¿También a New York? ¿Y usted?
New York.
New York. ¿Y usted?
Jersey.
New Jersey. ¿Y usted?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. ¿Y usted?
Maryland.
A Maryland. ¿De dónde vienen?
Perú.
De Perú. ¿Y usted, caballero?
Nueva York.
Va a Nueva York. ¿De dónde viene? ¿Perú?
Perú.
Perú. ¿Y usted?
Perú, Nueva
Perú, a New York, a Nueva York. ¿Y usted?
Cuba.
Cuba. ¿A dónde va?
Para Miami.
Miami. ¿Y usted dónde viene?
De Perú.
De Perú, ¿a dónde va?
A Maryland.
A Maryland. ¿Y usted, señorita?
De Cuba.
De Cuba. ¿Y a dónde va?
Para Tampa.
Para Tampa, Florida. ¿Y usted?
Perú.
De Perú, ¿a dónde va?
Nueva York.
A Nueva York. ¿Y usted, caballero?
De Perú.
¿De Perú también a Nueva York?
No voy a Virginia, Manassas.
Virginia. ¿Y usted, señorita?
Cubana, Nueva York.
Cuba, New York.
Peruana, Nueva York.
Perú a Nueva York.
Peruanos, los cuatro.
A Nueva York. ¿Y usted?
Colombianos.
¿A dónde van?
A San Marcos, California.
A California. Ok, ¿y usted?
Cubano.
Cubano, ¿a dónde va?
A la Florida.
A la Florida. Tú estás medio oscuro, hombre.
Cubano.
No te creas. ¿También es cubana? ¿A dónde
A
va?
Florida.
A la Florida. ¿Y usted, señora?
Cubana.
Cubana, ¿y a dónde va?
Kentucky.
A Minnesota. ¿Y usted?
Peruanas.
Perú. ¿A dónde va?
New Jersey.
A New Jersey. Where you from?
Venezuela.
Venezuela. ¿A dónde va?
Florida.
A la Florida. ¿Y usted?
Cuba, la Florida.
Cuba, a la Florida. ¿Dónde viene usted, caballero?
Nicaragua.
De Nicaragua. ¿Y usted?
Cuba.
Cuba. ¿A dónde va?
Maryland.
A Maryland. ¿Y usted?
Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida. ¿Y usted?
Colombia.
Colombia. ¿A dónde va? New Jersey. ¿Y usted?
Cuba.
Cuba. ¿A dónde vas?
Florida.
A la Florida. ¿Cuántos años tienes, chavo?
12. Anda conmigo, ven para acá.
No, que está bien chavito. So the beat goes on.
the beat goes on. Look at this. And then you juxtapose it with what's happening in so many states in the Southeast. These people who desperately need help, they're getting $750. These people, free housing, free food, free medical care, whole lot, get cars and a whole lot of stuff, right? I do think that Americans really need to wake up. Well, unfortunately, waking up is just not enough, you know. You got to wake up and hit the road running. And unfortunately, that takes generative care, which is different from just saying you care. The kind of care that motivates you to action. So I am going to link below to this, which was sent to me by a subscriber. Oh, wait a second. Sorry. Okay. That link is in. And if you want to read about DARPA's new mass surveillance control tool, click on the link. I don't need to look. At a certain point, you have to understand that, well, I think I have enough information. I think I have enough information to begin to take action. But we know there's surveillance. We know that we are already the mass surveillance that is taking place already. It's just another tool, and that, so what? You know, they will always be updating their surveillance tools, right? But we're there. I hate it, but we are. I will also post the link to this video. A document that I actually posted on years ago, the replacement migration. Yes, solution to declining and aging populations. The American dream is to leave America. I may keep this open, but so much is going on that, you know, it's so hard to address everything. But I just want to post the link. This was a very good video by Brian, High Impact Flicks. And it's very instructive and educational in terms of how people think. The awake, especially. You really do need to spend time thinking about how you think. Because a whole lot don't think properly. And if you watch this video, he points out how people can say what they say and then say something that contradicts what they just said. And it kind of pulls people up short, which is good. It should. But the mess we're in requires an awful lot of work on ourselves but our thinking, so that we have the ability to discern properly, and especially to just take a step out of the matrix, because there's no reality there. You want to step out of it. And there's no good there. I mean, we see how the evil is operating. We see the evil operating on both sides, and yeah, voting for the lesser of two evil. You got to really think about that. I just found it very good. And it wasn't just my watching this, to feel better about myself because I'm not them. You and I have to be very aware of our thought process, the patterns, the biases, all of it. Because it takes an awful lot of work to root out all of that so that you can think clearly. Anyway, and yes, here, Israeli strike on Damascus, killing several civilians. Fears of regional war. I think the regional war is happening. Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Israel, Yemen, and other countries. Well, I think the regional war is going on. Broad daylight, residential neighborhood. I will say this. Israel and the United States are very consistent in their ability to not care at all for the innocent. Okay. So, world on fire. The Houthi rebels targeted 2 ships in the Red Sea while Iran launched missiles at Israel. Okay. Well, it doesn't seem that this is going to be stopping. And just Americans realize the empire is going down. And don't be surprised at all if the drones start flying over, dropping bombs on us. I want to ask, can you see this? I have to ask because it's a different browser. And I just want to make sure. I created another Never Lose Truth on Twitter because I can't play any of the videos on my Never Lose Truth Twitter account. And it apparently is the browser. So I didn't know that before I created this account. You do see it? That it's Twitter? Here is Hot Springs, North Carolina. A friend who is helping relief efforts in Hot Springs. There are 2 grocery stores in all of Madison County, North Carolina. Both are Ingles. Ingles Distribution Center is in Asheville, under 11 feet of water. Search teams send up flares every time they find a body. Several go up every hour. Searchers are being traumatized by the frequency with which they find corpses. Only one person answered me. Two people, Tony and BMCC. Thank you, Louisiana. Okay, that's good to know. I was afraid that whatever browser I was using to do the live, that it might not show another browser. Okay, good. So, yeah. Wow. We have a lot of hurting people.
I don't think you guys understand. Like, we're literally being fucking rescued.
And this is people being rescued, having to walk through areas where they are, Western North Carolina, evacuating by foot. Older people who can't hike out will starve or die of dehydration if no one gets to them soon.
This was once a fucking street. Like, I find it hard to believe that this is what it is.
You okay with the cats? Thank you. They're my life. Well, my dogs.
So if you lose my cats, you might as well take me with you.
All of our houses are up there. They're intact.
Wildflower Hill.
Oh, okay. The one
That's pretty intense. And here, more mules going up the mountains.
Eyes and water, mama, to be high and right. Eyes and water, mama, to be high and right.
I do stress this a lot. I will until I'm out of here, dead and gone. We need to help one another. We need to do the work necessary to change so that we're not judging people, that we can just listen to people, hearing their experience. Challenge yourself and make yourself a little bit uncomfortable if you're not used to, extending yourself in your community. Do it, get outside your comfort zone. Help the food banks in your area, help the animal shelters in your area. If you're close to these areas where people are so suffering, have you driven out there? Even if it's just to spend an hour helping out or 2 hours, maybe you even have more time. Have you donated? They've lost everything, okay? If you don't have money, then you can certainly go into your closet, take out some clothing, a whole lot of Christians, right? Jesus. That's how you manifest Jesus. Take some food to these places. If you have the means and the apparatus to actually get in there, 4-wheel drives, helicopter. This is what we need to be doing. Absolutely. I so wish I was there back in Anderson, South Carolina. I wish that what I experienced, I didn't experience, and now this is all I can do. That so frustrates me beyond belief. So, yeah, do what you can. Try to make life a little bit easier for other people. And on that note, I thank you very much, every one of you who donated. Thank you so much. You do give me the ability to donate some of that to others that I know are hurting. And yeah, some people would get pissed off at me and expressed it. Well, I didn't donate to them. I donated to you. I have said for years, I always take, a percentage of the donations to help other people. So that's what I do. If you don't like that, don't donate. So, yeah, thank you for showing up. I appreciate every one of you that you're just continuing to do what you can, showing up, live honestly, and speak honestly. That's what transforms the world. Of course, we need it in the aggregate, and we don't have it in the aggregate, but doesn't mean that we just don't. That's the most important. It's the most important way to live. But when you grow up in a culture of just lying, you fool yourself into thinking that you're honest. And you're around an awful lot of people who will give you that support, but they're also living a lie too. So, yeah, be safe. And on that note, I say, oh, wow, good night and good luck. Ciao. Oh, interesting. So there I am trying to fix my Twitter page, Never Lose Truth, trying to get a video to play on it. And I'm taking all of, the suggestions from these tech sites. And then I go back to everything that I use, even Gmail, everything got screwed up. So my picture is not there of my gorilla. There's a story behind that gorilla. Maybe one day I'll tell you. But for tonight, you can look at this thing. Good night, guys. Be well.